One of our unique and most fascinating traits as human beings is the ability to think. We think every day, every hour, every minute, every second we are thinking. But design thinking is a little bit different. Design thinking is probably one of the hardest things that I have done in my design career, but at the same time, it's one of the most fascinating things. In today's video, I'm going to share with you how to think like a designer. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Andrea, and in this channel, I talk about everything related to interior design. So if that's something that you're into, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. On to this video, I'm going to be telling you how to actually think like a designer. So if you're interested to know, keep watching and let's get right into it. Design thinking is a creative problem-solving framework that integrates people's needs to achieve a more meaningful life. This thinking process is not only used in the design field, but it's also used in other disciplines such as education, healthcare, and business. And nowadays it is a process that it's being taught at universities such as Harvard and Stanford. If you want to learn more about this process, I will leave some links down in the description box below so that you can check that out. So guys, basically design thinking seeks to solve a problem in a creative and innovative way. This creative problem-solving technique is a human-centered approach, which basically means that this process seeks to prioritize the client needs and to improve their experience. And guess what? This is exactly what our goal is as interior designers. We want to improve our client's experience as it relates to the space that they will live in or that they will occupy. So how can interior designers use design thinking? So first, you've got to identify the problem, and the problems can be different depending on the niche that you're in. An industrial designer might have a very different problem from a graphic designer or from a fashion designer. In the interior design industry, the problems that we encounter as interior designers specifically relate to the spaces that we design and their functionality for specific users. Whenever we are working with a space, our client will communicate with us the problems that they are facing with that space. And this phase of the design thinking process is very important and very critical because you gotta remember that as interior designers, our first goal and the most important goal is to design a space that is functional for the occupant. So it's very important that in this phase, you as a designer listen to what your client has to say. And additional to their problems, interior designers will probably also identify additional problems that they see within the space. So I will give you some examples. A living room may be facing problems such as not enough daylight or no access to the garden, or the carpet might not be the ideal for the clients. They might need to switch it up for a material that's easier to clean. Another common problem with older homes is the kitchen. In the past, the kitchens used to be an enclosed space or a room with 4 walls and a door. Nowadays, our kitchens have an open concept that opens to the other social spaces within the home. So an old kitchen may be facing a problem such as no counter space, not enough storage, outdated materials. Bedrooms can also face additional problems such as no built-in cabinets, no storage, not enough closet space. So I can go on and on and on, but you get the point. The problems that we encounter as interior designers have to be identified from the very first moment that we are working on a project so that we can target them and solve them. In this phase, we meet with the client to discuss the scope of work, and some designers will provide with questionnaires for their clients when they have to fill in the fields, answering questions such as number of rooms required, storage required, interior design style preference, colors, materials that are preferred or disliked. And there are so many things that go into a questionnaire. But at this point, what we want to do as interior designers is to know what the client wants, know what the client needs, likes and dislikes. So in this phase of the design thinking process, all you gotta do is seek to understand what the client really wants, which is why listening to the client is very important. In this phase, we synthesize the information collected from the previous phase. So how are we going to address the problems presented? If there are any challenges that need to be addressed, we've got to identify them in this phase. So in the interior design industry, challenges are normally related to the structural elements within the space. An example of a challenge within a project can be the location of the walls. If you've got a load-bearing wall that you cannot tear down or that you need to replace by a column. So this type of construction challenges will have to be discussed with structural engineers because a lot of the times they might impact in our design solutions. The third phase of the design thinking process is ideate. So this is a very important phase because it's here where your skills and your knowledge and your talent and your creativity as an interior designer will be tested. If you saw my last video about creativity, you will know that to get creative around a subject matter, you have to start brainstorming all of the ideas around that concept. So it's here where you gotta start doing that. So in this phase, you are looking for inspiration for your design solutions. You are brainstorming ideas and you're basically trying to build a concept for your project. In this phase, you're also going to provide creative solutions for the problems that you identified in previous phases. And this is probably the most important part of the whole design thinking process because not only you have to provide a solution to your problem, but your solution should be a creative, unique, and original solution, because that's really what good interior design is. So in a nutshell, you have to figure out how to think outside the box. I want to give you an exercise to test if you can actually think outside the box. It's doable, but you gotta be quite creative. If you want to know the answer of how I did it, wait until the end of this video. Okay guys, so the next phase of the design thinking process is the modeling. And this phase is where everything you've done up to this point is gonna start making sense and taking shape. At this point, you know what your design problems are, you know if there are any challenges within the project, and you have this basket of abstract ideas and creative solutions for your design problems. So it's now time to actually land those abstract ideas into defined concepts so that you can start building your interior space. And remember that the whole point of an interior designer job is to create a space that is functional and also beautiful. So this is a phase of trial and error. You have to be able to criticize your own work and to revise your work over and over again. And you have to keep a flexible and open mind and attitude towards your designs. It requires, among other things, this sort of self-criticism that comes about only through the act of creating hundreds or even thousands of truly terrible designs that will never see the light of the day. So guys, in this phase, you're doing your mood boards, your concept boards, your material boards, your furniture boards. You are doing tons of sketches, you're doing floor plans, elevations, sections. You're starting to work with AutoCAD and SketchUp, and you're starting to do perspective drawings, either hand-drawn or on your computer. So you're gonna actually start to design your space. And this is a phase of fail and repeat. You might start developing designs and then you might find out that they do not work and you have to start over and over again. So it's okay if you fail, but make sure that you fail fast so that you can actually address those problems and improve and find better solutions for your design problems. So this is the final stage of the design thinking process. At this point, you have narrowed down your design options to be able to come to a final design solution. At this point, you can show your clients what you have come up with. You want to have somewhere between 2 to 3 different designs so that they can actually have some options to choose from. And it is true that you are the interior designer, but you also want to give your client a voice, because at the end of the day, they are going to be the ones that are going to be living in the space. So in this phase, what you will be doing ultimately is to choose a final design and to refine that design until it's perfect. So the way that you solve the exercise that I gave you before is like this. And I told you, you have to think outside the box. There you go, guys, that is a wrap. This was how to think like a designer. And it is important that you know that this is not always a linear process. Sometimes when we are already in the test phase, things do not really work out and we have to go back to other phases. So it can be a lot of back and forth between phases, but this is overall the structure that is recommended. I really hope that you liked this video and you learned anything new today. If you did, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.